Good evening, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live, and there was some very interesting information I wanted to share with you guys this evening, but I was actually waiting for some photos to share with you that I tried to send to myself, just is not coming through as of yet. Uh, I literally, but I will tell you this much. It's kind of interesting. Of course, I got. Oh, by the way, I have the video up here. Letter reveals Clinton's deep global agenda. I'm working on another case as well of some people that knew the Clintons personally that also came under target for their own lives that I'd like to share with you. But we got a lot of crazy things going on. And of course, one thing that was driving me nuts as I started going back here again was the audio on the videos. I know you guys have gone nuts with that, but we have finally been able to figure out what the problem is, got that fixed, and now the audio should work good. But there are a lot of things happening, friends, a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on. A lot of that information will be over on our Patreon channel because, not everybody wants to hear all these things. And one of the videos that I ended up loading up through iConnect that never seemed to work on the audio, that was just another crazy thing too. I actually already took it down now. Sorry about that. I got to go back and even see what I was doing the video on. I don't even remember off the top of my head, but there was something new going on that I wanted to share, and it was actually over on our Patreon channel. But I was going in over the storms, things like that, unusual storms. I think there was a tornado that hit out there in the Czech Republic that was a Cat 4. We're talking about something like Czech Republic has never, ever seen a tornado with that type of activity. So at any rate, I wanted to share some things with you here, and I was hoping to be able to share with you this photograph I took the other day of a old-timey fire wheel that was covered. And I can't go into the details about why, but it's a modern version of that. But the strange thing was, I entered back into a vision I had when I was 18 years old from that picture. Let me just see if I can at least show it to you with my phone. Because like I said, it didn't pop up on the screen there. So I'd like to be able to at least maybe share that with you guys so you can see it for yourself. Let me just see if it'll... all right, there. I'm going to check out on the screen here to see if I can actually... All right, you can see that there. It's right there on the side with me there. The tarp over that fire wheel, like an old-timey fire hose, is laying there on the ground. This is what it looks like when it was covered up. All right. And it was extremely windy. Now, there's actually two of them outside this one hospital. And as I walked up and saw that, I just stopped, froze in my tracks. And oh, by the way, I'm looking at this video. I don't want to sidetrack too much here. Video may prove escaped dinosaur in South America. That's over on Patreon tonight right now, friends. That was kind of cute there. I just shared that with some friends there. And somebody sent me a video footage from South America where someone had videoed a velociraptor there. So I was sharing that along with the video that I initially did over there for Patreon folks there. So you might want to check that out. Let me get off of that there. But at any rate, I have wondered for the past 39 years, what did the vision mean? And I realize what it meant now. And I really want you to be able to... Oh, wait, we may have got the pictures. Let's just see if they're there. Yes, no, they're not there. Just another junk mail, sorry. At any rate, I'm wanting you guys to be able to see, and I guess that picture on there, you guys see it pretty good. I know I'm able to kind of touch the OBS button down here, and you can kind of see it there instead of seeing my ugly face. You're able, there it is right there. There's that wagon wheel, right? It's like the old-timey days when they used to have the wagon wheels and like a water thing in the middle with the hose on there. And they go put the fires out with it, right? Well, when I was young, 18 years old, I'd been working offshore with my dad and my stepdad, that is, and I came back in off of my first trip, and it was only about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And my mom, when we got there at the house, she said, I'm going to go over and see Jackie, which was our neighbor across the street. So I'm going to go visit with her for a little bit. I said, okay. So I went in there and I sat down on the edge of my bed. And as soon as I sat down on the edge of my bed, I went into a vision. I never went to sleep. When I came out of the vision, I was still sitting on the edge of the bed. And I know I've told this vision before, so I knew it wasn't a dream. But that particular type of device was what I saw, or at least I thought was in my dream. The covered part is what I saw. Now let me give you a little bit of background. The dream was very strange. I did not dream, but vision was very strange. I always kind of wondered, what did it mean? And I've prayed about it over the years, but never really knew. But in the vision, I had some type of ability to be able to open things just from thought. You know, if I wanted to open a door, I could think it, and the door would open and the door would close, which I thought was odd, because as a Christian, I would think that's not something normal that a Christian would go around thinking about or doing, right? So I thought that was odd, even in the vision. But I was trying to show my mother that I had this ability. And my mother just wasn't impressed. So I went outside, and when I did, minus the words where it says "Will fire extinguisher," let me just kind of show that to you again. The one that was covered up right here, right? I saw exactly that. And for some reason, in the vision, I knew that it was supposed to be that this right here, this device here, I knew that it was supposed to be that underneath that tarp, an old wagon, fire wheel, fire hose type thing. Now, I don't know why, but I just knew that. And I wanted by thought to be able to just make that tarp come off, but I couldn't do it. Then suddenly it blew off. Now, the odd thing is, and the one that you've seen the picture of already, the tarp is laying on the ground beside it, and the winds were really strong last night, and they had blew the tarp off the wagon wheel. But when that tarp blew off, it wasn't the fire wagon wheel that I thought. Instead, it was Satan. And he had one of his little angels with him, and he wasn't a tall guy. I mean, the devil was, you know, I don't know what height he was, you know, kind of like my height, maybe a little taller. And he had I'd call it one of his fallen angels with him. There was a shorter guy, and they were coming at me, but they didn't have to come walking. They literally just floated across the ground, coming after me to try to harm me. And I remember 18 years old having this vision, and I was scared to death. And yet I began to try to quote Bible verses, because I read my Bible very faithfully even at that age. And right when the little one was going to hit me, I came out of the vision, or at least I thought I came out of the vision. And I'm sitting there on the edge of the bed. And then I hear someone knock on the front door of the house. So I got up off the bed, thinking I'm not in a vision, but I'm literally still in the vision. And I walked down the hallway, and it was just very real. And when you walk down the hallway, you'd make a left, and the door would be right there in the foyer. And when I opened the door, I knew that in this beautiful light that you could not describe was Jesus Christ. I fell to my face on the ground. And when I did, he began to speak to me. And as he spoke to me, I'll never forget, he says to me, actually I want to watch that right there later, because from Mike from around the world, but he says to me, man hears more often than he listens. And then I actually did come out of the vision then, and I was still sitting at the side of my bed. The only difference was my shirt was just drenched in tears where I'd been crying. And even in the vision, I fell to my face and I tried to crawl to his feet and I said to him, Lord, I cannot hear you. And he says, man hears more often than he listens. And I've wondered my whole life, what did this vision mean? And last night, as I was going to visit with a friend of mine, whom I will not name, I saw those fire wheels. And it was almost as if I entered the vision again, which I didn't enter it, but it was the revelation of the vision. And I realized that the attack our family has been under is supernatural, which is interesting in itself, because even my wife had said to me recently, she said, do you think that the things that are happening to us could be a result of the anger of Satan, because you are exposing what their plans are? You have unveiled his plot, his New World Order scheme, his false Messiah scheme. And she didn't say all that, I'm adding those parts in there, but this is the gist she was bringing out. She said, and the things that are happening in the natural are only being influenced by demonic entities from another realm. Because there's a lot of good people in this world that mean well. But Satan can get in there and manipulate things. For example, if you were to have a car accident and someone passed away in that car accident, the other person may have never intended to cause harm that would take the life of that person. But Satan may have tried to distract that person just to take the life of the individual that you love. And an unfortunate event takes place. So as I saw that wagon wheel again, let me see if I can to kind of click on there so I can see that I'm showing it to you. As I saw this, there we go. And the wind had blown off the tarp. I immediately remembered the vision. And I realized what my wife had thought was very correct. We were living this vision. This vision is now beginning to manifest before our eyes. The attack that we're under. So please be in prayer for us. And we know that we're not out of the woods yet. But I find it interesting, the part about Jesus. Satan was unable to truly harm us. All right? He was not able to really harm us as he would have desired to do. But then Jesus was right there. And he said to me, when he began to speak and I could not hear him, and I crawled closer to his feet, man hears more often than he listens. And I realize this is the hour when I really need to be listening to Him. And not just hearing Him, but truly listening to Him. Please pray for us. We love you guys. God bless you. And thank you for your kindness, all of you that have sent the support to help us with the funeral expense, with the expense of being here in Northwest Florida trying to save my father-in-law's life. I just sincerely thank you for your love and support. God bless you. Good evening, and do love those that you love dearly. Take time. And before I close, let me just say one other thing. Young people, I know we're in a digital age. And it consumes a lot of young people, even older people's times. Take time to spend time with those you love. Those little devices can be a major distraction for us. If you're my age, if you're, 50s, let's say mid-50s at least, on up, we remember the days where we didn't have these devices. And family did spend time together. In fact, that's how you had fun. It wasn't because you played a video game. You had fun because you spent time together as a family. You went to see Grandma and Grandpa. You played outside with your brothers and sisters. You spent time with your parents. Maybe a camping trip or something. Maybe you fished or whatever you might have done. Don't let those little gadgets get in the way. And I know when you experience something like this, that's when you realize it. But in honesty, only by His grace, no big I's, no little U's, I saw some things coming. So I was able to share that with our family. Take time now. Because the last thing you want is regrets later. Not to mention, another thing too, and I always have said this many, many times to people in my own family and friends that I've known, when you've got the elderly, record the stories they tell. I remember my great-grandmother told many, many stories. We didn't have all the technology back then like you have now, but I have longed to be able to know those stories again. Some of them stayed in my memory, but she told a lot of beautiful stories that I wished I still had to this day. Because you're going back all the way, even like my great-grandmother on my mother's side there, well, both of them. One was born in the 1800s. I've heard a lot of stories. And take that time. God bless you. We love you.